From overlooked to unforgettable. The art of commanding respect. What if you could stop wasting your energy on people who don't see your worth, and instead command the respect you inherently deserve? What if, in the next few moments, you could learn the single most powerful mindset shift that will make anyone regret taking you for granted? Imagine today being the day you stop chasing validation and start living unapologetically on your terms. This isn't about being liked. It's about being profoundly respected. It's about reclaiming your power and stepping into the life you were always meant to live. By the end of this, you won't just feel different. You'll be different. Ready to stop playing their game and start creating your own. The world doesn't care about the excuses you've been telling yourself. The respect you crave will never be won by chasing after it. The power you feel you've lost is waiting for you to reclaim it. And the life you dream of building won't happen until you stop begging for approval and start owning your worth. This is not about sugarcoating reality or offering you feel-good platitudes. This is about the cold, hard truths every man needs to hear, but most will never face. If you want to become the kind of man who commands respect, who lives on his terms, and who refuses to settle for less than he deserves, you must start making changes now. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. From breaking free of the validation trap, to setting boundaries like a leader, to reclaiming your focus and dominating your path. This is your roadmap to becoming the man you were born to be. If you're ready to stop being overlooked, undervalued, and underappreciated, stay with me. This is where everything changes. Number 1. Don't chase. Chasing validation, is the single most unattractive thing a man can do. It's the fastest way to lose respect, not just from others, but from yourself. When you seek validation, you hand over your power, giving someone else the authority to decide your worth. That is weakness, plain and simple. And weakness doesn't attract respect. It repels it. Society has conditioned you to chase approval since childhood. You've been taught to be the good boy, to make everyone happy, avoid conflict, and bend over backward for a pat on the head. But that mindset is a scam, and it has set you up for failure. Picture this. You're in a relationship, and your partner starts pulling away. She's less affectionate, texts less, or is suddenly too busy. Most men panic. They start texting more, calling more, and doing anything they can to fix things. The result? She pulls away even further. Why? Because desperation kills attraction. This applies to every area of your life, your friendships, your career, your family. The more you chase validation, the less you get. People respect strength, not neediness, and chasing validation is the ultimate display of neediness. To break free, flip the script. Instead of seeking validation, focus on self-respect. Ask yourself, are you living in a way that you respect? Do you know if your actions align with your values? If the answer is no, it's time to make a change. The moment you start respecting yourself, others will follow. Not everyone will value you, no matter what you do, and that's okay. Your job isn't to make everyone like you. Your job is to be the best version of yourself, regardless of who's watching. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. And when you attract from a place of strength, not neediness, that's when the game changes. Number 2. Recognize the warning signs. The first step to reclaiming your power is to become aware of it. You can't fix what you don't see. Most men ignore the warning signs when someone stops valuing them, because the truth is uncomfortable. It's easier to pretend everything is okay than to face the reality that you're being taken for granted. These signs can be subtle: a shift in tone, a lack of enthusiasm, or an unexplained distance. Or they can be blatant: canceled plans, unanswered calls, or outright disrespect. Either way, the signs are there. Have you ever felt like you were giving your all to someone, only to get the bare minimum in return? Maybe you're always the one, initiating conversations, making plans, or compromising. In return, you get excuses, indifference, and silence. People value what they have to work for. If you're constantly putting in all the effort, you're teaching them that your time, energy, and attention are cheap, and cheap things are easily discarded. Recognizing the warning signs isn't about blaming others, it's about taking responsibility. Are you tolerating disrespect? Are you giving too much and ignoring red flags because you're afraid of confrontation? If so, it's time to wake up. Imagine your partner starts canceling plans at the last minute. The first time, you let it slide. The second time, you make excuses for them. By the third time, you're resentful but silent because you don't want to rock the boat. By staying quiet, you're teaching them that it's okay to disrespect your time. Recognizing the signs is about deciding how you will respond. Will you continue to tolerate disrespect or set a new standard? The choice is yours. Number 3. The power of stepping. Back when someone stops valuing you, the most powerful thing you can do is not to chase, beg, or argue, but to step back. Stepping back shifts the dynamic. You're no longer playing their game or feeding their ego. When you stop chasing, they start noticing your absence. Imagine you're always available, always the first to text, always making plans. They get comfortable and take you for granted. Your presence becomes predictable and easy to ignore. Now, imagine stepping back. You stop texting, calling, and initiating. Suddenly, they're left wondering what's going on. That's the power of absence. It forces them to confront what life feels like without you. But stepping back isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about reclaiming your power and redirecting your energy from them to yourself. It's about saying, "I'm no longer going to invest in someone who doesn't value me. I'm going to invest in myself." That shift is life-changing. When you step back and focus on yourself, you become stronger, more confident, and more grounded. You stop needing their approval because you've found your own. That's when the dynamic changes, and they start noticing what they've lost. By the time they come crawling back, you might not even want them anymore. Because when you truly invest in yourself, you realize your worth was never tied to them in the first place. You were always enough. You just needed to see it for yourself. Number 4. Invest in yourself. When was the last time you truly put yourself first? I'm talking about real, intentional self-investment. The kind that changes you from the inside out and makes you wake up every day feeling like a stronger, better version of yourself. The world doesn't reward mediocrity, and people don't respect a man who neglects himself. Investing in yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. If you're not growing, you're dying. Most men pour all their energy into others, bending over backward for relationships, sacrificing their time for people who don't appreciate them, and putting their dreams on hold. Then they wonder why they feel drained, stuck, and unfulfilled. When you invest in yourself, you're telling the world and yourself that you matter. You're saying, "I'm worth the effort, the time, and the energy." That message is powerful. Ask yourself, what would the best version of me look like? Not the man you are today, but the man you know you could be if you stopped making excuses. Maybe he's fitter, stronger, more disciplined, financially secure, emotionally stable, and living with purpose. Now ask, what's stopping me from being that man? 9 times out of 10, the answer is you. You can't blame anyone else for where you are in life. It's on you, and that means you have the power to change it. It starts with a decision to stop wasting time on things that don't matter and start investing in yourself. Instead of chasing someone who doesn't value you, channel that energy into hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or starting a business. Instead of waiting for someone to validate you, validate yourself by setting and crushing goals. When you invest in yourself, you become magnetic. People are drawn to confidence, discipline, and a sense of purpose. They start to respect you not because you asked for it, but because you earned it. And that respect is priceless. Number 5. Set boundaries. Like a leader, most men cringe at the word boundaries because they've been taught that setting them makes you difficult, selfish, or unkind. In reality, boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They're guardrails to protect what matters most: your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. If you're not setting boundaries, you're setting yourself up to be walked all over. How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you let someone disrespect you to avoid conflict? Every time you do that, you're sending a message. My feelings don't matter. My time doesn't matter. My standards don't matter. And people will believe you. If you don't respect yourself enough to set boundaries, no one else will either. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude, it's about being clear and firm. You're simply stating what you need and that you won't accept anything less. You can start by knowing your non-negotiables. What will you not tolerate? Constant lateness, disrespectful language, and emotional manipulation? Please write it down. Get clear on what matters to you. Next, please ensure that you communicate your boundaries confidently, both through your actions and words. Words can be ignored, but actions demand respect. If someone disrespects your boundary, don't argue or explain. Enforce it. If a friend keeps canceling plans, stop making plans with them. If a partner consistently shows disrespect, consider ending the relationship. Your boundaries are only as strong as your willingness to enforce them. Men often struggle with this, fearing they'll lose people. And maybe they will. But do you want people in your life who only stay when they can disrespect you? That's not love. That's convenience. Boundaries don't push the right people away. They attract them. When you set boundaries, you show people that you value yourself, and those who truly respect you will rise to meet your standards. The rest? Let them go. Number 6. The absence effect. Your presence is your power, but your absence is even more powerful. People don't value what's always available. They value what they fear losing. If you're constantly present, giving, and chasing, you're teaching them that they don't need to value you because you'll always be there. Consider the man who always shows up for everyone. At first, people love him for it. But over time, they start taking him for granted. His presence becomes predictable and easy to ignore. One day, he decides to do something different. He stops texting first, stops showing up uninvited, and stops giving his time to people who don't value it. And what happens? People start noticing. They start reaching out, asking where he'd been. His absence creates a void, and that void makes them realize what they had taken for granted. This is the absence effect. When you step back, you create space for people to feel your absence. It's a wake-up call, a reminder of your value. But you can't fake it. The point is not to manipulate someone into chasing you. The point is to step back for yourself, to reclaim your time, energy, and focus. When you step back, one of two things will happen. Either they realize your value and step up, or they don't, and you realize you're better off without them. Either way, you win. Number 7. Embrace unshakable confidence. Confidence is the one quality every man knows he needs, but many struggle to achieve. Society tells you that confidence is about being loud, flashy, and dominating every room. But absolute confidence is quiet, calm, and unshakable. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't need validation because it comes from within. Imagine walking into a room and not feeling the need to prove yourself. You're not the loudest guy there, not bragging or trying to impress people. You're just present, calm, composed, and secure in who you are. That's the kind of confidence that turns heads and lasts. Confidence isn't about what you have, it's about what you believe. You don't need six-pack abs, a six-figure income, or a fancy car to be confident. Those things are external and can be taken away. Absolute confidence comes from knowing your worth, regardless of what you have. Think about the guy who's always showing off his car or his job. His confidence is fragile. Take away those things, and what's left? Nothing. Now, compare that to the man who walks into a room with nothing to prove. He's grounded because his confidence comes from within. You can build it by keeping promises to yourself. Confidence is built through action, showing up, doing the work, and proving to yourself that you're capable. Whether it's hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or tackling a tough challenge, every time you follow through, you're telling yourself, I can do this. The more you do that, the more confident you become. Number 8, stop over-explaining. Yourself over-explaining is a sign of insecurity. It's what happens when you feel the need to justify your decisions, boundaries, or standards to people who don't deserve an explanation. It's one of the fastest ways to lose respect, because every time you over-explain, you're subconsciously communicating, I value your opinion of me more than my own. Have you ever found yourself rambling to explain why you said no to a plan or set a boundary? Did they respect you more? Probably not. They likely respected you less because your over-explaining made you seem unsure of yourself. Real men don't over-explain. They are decisive and let their actions speak for themselves. If someone doesn't like it, that's their problem, not yours. When you know your worth, you don't need to justify it. To break the habit, practice silence. The next time someone asks you about your decision, please feel free to let the urge to explain. Say, that's what works best for me, and leave it at that. If they push for more, repeat yourself. The more you practice this, the more confident you'll feel and the more respect you'll command. Over-explaining also drains your energy. Save your energy for people who respect you enough to accept your decisions without question. For everyone else, let your silence speak for itself. Number 9. Cut the dead weight. Are there people in your life holding you back? A friend who only calls when they need something? A partner who doesn't support your goals? A colleague who constantly undermines you? Deep down, you know they're dead weight. If you want to grow, you need to let them go. Cutting people off isn't easy. It's uncomfortable and sometimes feels cruel. But keeping toxic people in your life is far more damaging. Every time you tolerate their behavior, you're sending a message that you're okay with being disrespected. Your time and energy are limited resources. Every minute you spend on someone who doesn't value you is a minute you could be spending on your goals, your growth, and your happiness. Imagine trying to climb a mountain with a heavy backpack full of useless stuff. How far would you get? Not very far. Now, Imagine taking that backpack off. The climb gets easier. You can move faster and focus on reaching the top. That's what it feels like to cut the dead weight. Identify the people who are draining you. Set boundaries and let them know what you will and won't tolerate. If they can't respect your boundaries, walk away. No explanations, no apologies. You can just walk away. This isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about choosing yourself over those who don't choose you. It's about creating space for the people who truly value you. Take a hard look at your life, identify the dead weight, and start cutting. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Number 10. Reclaim your focus. How? Much of your time do you spend thinking about things that don't matter? A woman who isn't giving you the respect you deserve? A friend who's always taking advantage of you? A situation at work that's draining your energy? Every moment you spend focusing on things outside your control is a moment you're wasting. And wasted moments add up to a wasted life. Your focus is your most valuable resource. It allows you to achieve your goals, grow as a person, and create the life you want. But if your focus is scattered by other people's drama, opinions, and disrespect, you'll never reach your full potential. You're giving away the one thing you can't afford to lose: your attention. How many hours have you wasted replaying conversations in your head or scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to others? Imagine what your life would look like if you redirected all that time, energy, and focus toward your goals. Reclaiming your focus starts with a straightforward decision. Stop giving your attention to things that don't deserve it. If it's not helping you grow, let it go. If it's not aligned with your goals, walk away. If it's draining your energy, cut it off. This requires discipline. It requires you to say no to distractions, set uncomfortable boundaries, and prioritize yourself. You can begin by identifying your top priorities. What truly matters to you? Your career, your health, your personal growth. Get crystal clear on what you want to achieve. Then, take an honest look at how you're spending your time. Do you know if your actions align with your priorities? Unfollow people on social media who make you feel less than. Say no to plans that don't align with your goals. Stop giving your energy to people who don't respect you. When you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your power. Number 11. The art of subtle detachment. Detachment may sound cold, but it is one of the most potent tools a man can have. It's not about being emotionless. It's about freedom from the need for validation, the fear of losing people, and the pressure to constantly prove yourself. When you master the art of detachment, you become unstoppable. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring the right way. It's about loving, working, and living with your whole heart, but without being controlled by the outcome. It's about giving your best without letting your happiness depend on the outcome. Imagine you're in a relationship, constantly worried about whether the other person will leave. You overthink every text and every conversation. You're so focused on keeping them happy that you forget your happiness. That's not love, that's fear. Now, imagine being in the same relationship, but instead of worrying about the outcome, you focus on being the best version of yourself. You communicate, set boundaries, and give your all, but your happiness doesn't depend on their actions. If they stay, great. If they leave, you're still okay. That's detachment, and that's freedom. This mindset applies to every area of your life, including your career, friendships, and personal goals. Detachment allows you to stay grounded and focused, no matter what happens. External circumstances no longer control you. You're in control of yourself. To develop detachment, Shift your focus from what you can't control to what you can. Instead of seeking approval from others, seek it from yourself. Trust that whatever happens, you'll be okay. When you master detachment, you gain something far more valuable: peace of mind. And in a world full of chaos, peace of mind is priceless. Number 12. Dominate your path. This is the final step, the ultimate goal. It's time to dominate your path, not in a way that's arrogant or aggressive, but in a way that's confident, purposeful, and unapologetic. If you don't take control of your life, someone else will. How many men spend their lives following someone else's script? They go to school. They're told to get a job because it's expected, and settle down because it's supposed to be. Before they know it, they're stuck in a life that doesn't feel like their own. But you weren't born to live someone else's life. You were born to create your own. Start by taking responsibility for your life. Stop blaming others. Stop waiting for someone to save you, and stop making excuses. The moment you take ownership, you take back your power. Next, could you explain your vision? What does success look like for you? Not what society says it should be, but what you want. It could be building a business, traveling the world, or mastering a skill. Please write it down, make it real, and then take action. A vision without action is just a dream. Dominating your path isn't about doing it alone. It's about surrounding yourself with people who support your vision, challenge you to grow, and push you to be better. It's also about letting go of anyone who doesn't. You can't dominate your path if you're constantly carrying dead weight. Finally, remember that dominating your path isn't about reaching a destination. It's about enjoying the journey. It's about waking up every day knowing you're living life on your terms, looking in the mirror and feeling proud of the man you've become, and leaving a legacy you can be proud of. Conclusion. The man you were born to be. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop holding back. Upholding. The path is yours to create. The time is now, and the man to do it is you. Imagine waking up tomorrow and refusing to chase the validation of people who don't deserve a seat at your table. Imagine walking into every room with unshakable confidence, knowing your worth isn't up for negotiation. Imagine the distractions that used to drain your energy vanishing because you reclaimed your focus and channeled it toward your goals. How much stronger would you feel? How much more respect would you command? How unstoppable would you become? Now, picture this. The people who once took you for granted start noticing your absence. They feel the void of your energy, your presence, your power. But by the time they come crawling back, you're too busy dominating your path to care. You're busy building, growing, evolving, and living life on your terms, not theirs. How would that feel? This is what it's all about. Not fixing them, but transforming you. You're not here to beg for scraps of respect. You're here to own your value, set your boundaries, and create a life so extraordinary that people have no choice but to respect it. It all starts with a decision to stop settling, stop chasing, and stop giving your time and energy to people who don't deserve it. But none of this will happen if you don't take action. Start today. Set one boundary. Reclaim 1 hour of your time. Take one step toward the man you know you're meant to be. Every journey starts with a single step, and your journey begins now.